So if you see a Canadian today, say Happy Canada Day, but don't say A afterwards because we don't think it's all that funny. Today we're going to talk about, well, at least I don't. Do you? Are you Canadian? You think it's funny? Today we talk about schools and education in the state of Nevada. It's a hard video to do, and I have all this stuff written down. So I'm not even going to do a walk and talk with lots of cuts and fancy videos. I'm just going to talk about the facts. Let's talk about it now. What's going on, guys? I'm Steven, not leaving Las Vegas. This is a Vegas YouTube channel. I'm a local to Vegas, so at least I have been for the last 14 years. I talk about things related to Las Vegas, the Raiders, the Knights, hockey, basketball, sports, tourism, moving here, living here, traveling here, doing everything else. If you want to join me, I would really appreciate it. Do me 4 different things before we get started with the video. Click on the subscribe button, hit the bell, enable all notifications, not just the personal ones. Make sure you leave us a comment and throw us a like. I reply to all my comments, and every like is like a little piece of gold to me. But gold would be good too. So if you want to send me some gold, that'd be good too. Okay, so I come from Alberta, Canada. I did pretty much all, well, that's not true. I split my primary schooling up. I was in grade kindergarten to 5 in Ontario, Canada, but then I did grade 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in Alberta, Canada. So I went and I looked at the differences between two places. We're going to talk about the differences between two places. So stay tuned for that towards the end of this video. I have all these cards with data. But if you want to know, there's some things about the state of Nevada you should know with the school system, okay? Number one, we don't have a very good education system. It's kind of like a running gag, laughing joke that people talk about here, and it's not funny. I think we're 47th or 48th overall in the entire country. But, oh, listen to that. But those numbers are terribly skewed. That's a problem with those numbers. And the big problem with those numbers are that according to, this is what I read, I did some research for this one, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, when a student leaves in the middle of high school, if they don't graduate through CCSD, they're considered a non-graduate. It doesn't matter if they go from Nevada to California and they graduate school there. The year that they were supposed to graduate, they're considered non-graduated. So that means that they're not considered a high school graduate. They're not a dropout, but they kind of look like a dropout, so that skews the numbers. The other thing is testing. And testing, if a student's not here to take a test because they went to another school district, even in the state of Nevada, apparently that also wreaks havoc with the testing average and the average scores of testing. This is again coming from somebody who claimed to be a teacher, a career-long teacher in CCSD. So there's 2 reasons why maybe things are a little worse than they actually seem. Another thing that's more conspiratorial, which I love conspiracies. Don't you love conspiracies? Aren't you a little Jesse Ventura in there? A little Alex Jones in you? The casinos and the mining industry, they don't care about college graduates. They don't like high school graduates. They'd rather have somebody that can push around laundry carts, fix up rooms, and do all the menial jobs, and you don't need a college degree for that. So why would we go ahead and fund the schools? That's just an idea that somebody threw out there as well. The truth is that we have the Raiders Stadium being built. And before you ask, I am not a Raiders hater. I want every team that comes to Nevada to do well because I'm proud to be able to live here. This city is a showcase city for the world. But they did spend $750 million of tax money. And there are certain amounts of students that are in the county that would really, or in the district, or in the state, that would really benefit from that money, but they gave it to a football team. Now, it's going to bring all these different events. It's going to bring a lot of prestige to Vegas. We're going to have the Pro Bowl maybe some year. Who knows if they move it from Hawaii. They're also going to do stuff like, you know, big bowl games, and they'll have a Super Bowl, and lots of other events will come here. Maybe the politics will do their big national conventions out here. It'll be a good thing for the city and the state, but could have spent that money on the kids, right? Won't somebody please think of the children, as Maude Flanders once said on The Simpsons. I'm a 90s kid, deal with it. So what do you do, right? I got a friend who's going to be on the channel soon when he gets his real estate license. He's going to talk about real estate with me, so make sure you subscribe and do all those things I said, so you make sure you see those videos. And he's got a son now, and his son's not even 1 year old, but he's going to have to put his kid through school if he stays here, and he's deciding maybe charter school. You know, charter schools where the schools set their own kind of curriculum. They still get public funding, but in most of the charter schools in Las Vegas, you have to pay some kind of private tuition to the schools, be it only $500 a year or $5,000 a year. They can also take private money from outside companies, I think. Okay, so that means that they get to set their own curriculum. They don't have to teach Common Core. They can teach whatever they want and hire whatever kind of teachers they want. They have some more freedom. Charter schools are an option. Homeschooling is an option. You can homeschool your children, but if you're not a stay-at-home mother, or you're not a work-at-home mother or father, or a stay-at-home father, you might have a problem homeschooling your kids. However, there are some very good homeschooling courses where, you know, they're recognized by everybody, and you can have a really good education based on that. And that's good for some kids, but then you have the social development aspect of your kid's already online, now your kid's online even more, and when do they ever get any FaceTime with anybody? Which is a good or a bad thing depending on who you ask nowadays. So what do you do? Those are your options. Or you just don't move here if you have a family. But I hope you would consider moving here, because there's family-friendly stuff here. I just wouldn't bring your kids here for a vacation. There are museums. There are activities you can do as a family. There are parks, even though it's hot as heck. I'm sweating right now as I film this in my car. But let's get on to this before my phone does overheat. So let's talk about a tale of two jurisdictions. Let's talk about Alberta, Canada, where I'm from, versus the state of Nevada. Based on some very fast research I did. Teacher salaries. I have these written down on cards. The average teacher salary in Alberta, Canada is adjusted to US dollars to be $75,600. In the state of Nevada, it's $60,000. They pay the teachers more in a Canadian system. This is going to look really bad for America, and I love this country. I identify more with America than I do with Canada, so are Canadians, but I love Canada for its own reasons too. But it's just the way it is. It's going to come down to one thing, and it's the one thing that makes America different than every parts of the world in a positive, so I'll get to that in a sec. Average class size. So in the province of Alberta, they have 29 students per, and in the state of Nevada, they won't release the actual numbers, but it's some of the largest class sizes in the country, up to 50 a class. Now that 29 per class is a high school stat. Most schools graduate it where you want to have less kids in kindergarten, less kids, a little more in the primary school and more in the high school, because by then the students have better attention spans. They don't need as much hands-on personal child development with the teacher. But that's still atrocious. That's really bad. In terms of funds per student, when adjusted to from Canadian dollars here to US dollars here, in Canada they were spending $8,326. It's opposite, flips on my phone screen, per student. In Nevada they're spending in US dollars $5,897 per student per pupil, and that doesn't take into account the schools area. That's just per student. So yes, schools in Summerlin spend more, but it's all kind of smoothed out. Okay, population wise, well, there's more people in Alberta, and there's also more students in Alberta. There's 600,000 students there, and there's only 400,000 here. There's 4,307,000 in Alberta, and just over 3 million in the state of Nevada. And both are very similar in that they only have 2 large cities and jurisdictions. But there's more people in Alberta because there's more agriculture and more places to grow stuff versus Nevada, which only happens in the north. Business taxes. This is one thing that you have to remember. You like your low taxation, right? This country was founded on low taxation. We threw tea into Boston Harbor because we didn't like the taxes on the tea. That was a long time ago. I didn't personally throw any tea. Okay, Alberta has a 12% flat tax on businesses. Nevada floats between 4 to 9%, and there are 0% personal taxes in both jurisdictions, which means that no man, woman, or woman doing taxes in the state of Nevada is paying a personal income tax to fund the coffers. But the same thing is also happening in the province of Alberta. So it's just a bizarre situation that two places with similar populations, not too much of a difference, has such a gap in teachers' pay and such a gap in per pupil spending, and even more students in Alberta, Canada, but we still don't have it down here. So what's the solution? I don't know what the solution is here. If you take away the business money that you give to places to build things like the Raider Stadium, then you take away from the idea that you're going to do more business in the future. Yet, if you do that, maybe you can have a better future with the kids. However, we have an incredibly transient population here. People are constantly moving in and out of the city. They might have temporary jobs, or they might just not like it here very much. So, what's your solution? Because I don't have one, and I'm not an expert. And if I got paid to do that kind of stuff, I wouldn't be standing out there slinging my timeshare thing and trying to make my web development company work. If you have any experience, I'd love to hear from you and what you have to say. This is just a quick comparison and some ideas on education in the state of Nevada. This is a longer video than I usually do, but I had to say what I had to say, and I did that research, so I didn't want it to go to waste. I am Steven, and this is my YouTube channel on Las Vegas. I'm a Canadian. I'm here now. I've been here for a while. I know some stuff about the state, and if I don't know, I try to find out. If you like the videos, you're just breezing and browsing through, click on the subscribe button, hit the little bell so you know when I do the new videos, throw us a like, and leave us a comment. Those 4 things let the YouTube algorithm know I might be worth watching to somebody similar to you. Thanks for liking, sharing, and I will talk to you guys in another video. Oh, see you later. Bye-bye.